Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about how free SEPTA rides for city workers are back. Budget hearings this week. The Philadelphia Police Department says they want more cops. Plus, more impacts could come for health workers and our schools as the city braces for federal cuts. And some people got fined $22,000 for dumping a couch. It's Friday, April 11th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Filler Club is CityCast Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt.
What's up, Trenae?
Okay, we've got a lot to talk about. But first, is it winter? I'm been freezing my butt off, but then I'm sweating because I'm wearing a sweater and I just don't know what the weather is.
It's out of control. We had the fake spring a week or so ago where they made us feel like it was over, like winter was over, and it's back 30-something degrees this week. What in the world?
And then I think it's going to rain all weekend, which is oh, great.
Right.
Anyway, lots to talk about this week, beginning with SEPTA. We just learned that SEPTA dropped a budget proposal where they're threatening to make 45% cuts in service. Whew, that means shutting down bus routes and regional rail lines, plus fare increases and a 9 p.m. curfew on the L and Broad Street lines. Without money from the state legislature, those cuts could happen in the coming months, like August, September. So we'll be talking a lot more about that. Meanwhile, in happier SEPTA news, Mayor Sherrell Parker reversed course and agreed to keep free SEPTA rides for city workers. This is known as the Key Advantage program, which was a huge benefit for workers who had to be in the office 5 days a week.
Yeah, this was a program that allowed about 15,000 city employees enrolled in this Key Advantage program to commute to and from work for free. And then there was also the Zero Fare program, which enabled about 25,000 low-income Philadelphians to ride SEPTA for free wherever they were going. These were programs that appeared to be on the chopping block in the mayor's proposed budget, but she announced this week that she's going to keep funding them and negotiate with SEPTA to make sure that these continue in the coming year.
Councilmember Jamie Gauthier of the 3rd District tweeted about this on X on Wednesday afternoon, and then we had a chance to sit down with her in her City Hall office this week, and we asked her about this. This is what she said.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I think these are such beneficial programs. They make working for the city of Philadelphia better, right? It's a great job perk, but also for low-income people and people who are struggling every single day. It was such a nice benefit to be able to provide free transit. And it was something that helps SEPTA, right? So a lot of us didn't really understand the decision to get rid of these programs. But I do want to thank Mayor Parker for reversing course. And I also want to thank Minority Whip Councilmember Nicholas O'Rourke, who really has led in the advocacy on this issue.
We happen to be coming in for an interview that'll air next week, and she had just tweeted that they're basically declared victory over this because she was one of the main council people that was protesting this cut.
So on Tuesday, there was a public hearing of the Committee of Whole, and Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel and other law enforcement officials, they testified about what's been working, some of the challenges and their needs of the Philadelphia Police Department. Why does this matter? This matters because City Council is going through the process of hearing from various city departments before the council votes on the mayor's budget. Okay, so this is Commissioner Bethel's second year in leadership. He said he loves this job. He talked about the historical low when it comes to homicides and shootings in the city. He talked about his connections with community members, developing meaningful relationships, changes to policies within the department. But the commissioner also talked about the vacancies, right? And he said that they need about 1,200 cops. And despite their efforts to recruit more folks, they are still working on this particular issue. Here's what he said.
This year, our goal to get to our fully staffing, we need to have 75 officers going into the academy every 6 weeks. Right now, we're hitting a mark around 40. But we believe, and if we continue down our pace, the front line of the department, the men and women in the field, we will get their staffing levels back up in the next 1 or 2 years.
So like you can hear, he said he wants to get a class of 75 officers every 6 weeks.
Yeah. I will say I am skeptical of this idea that we need that many more cops. I mean, I'm sure the police commissioner believes we need it, but it's framed as a shortage, as if that's just a fact. Like there is a designated specific number of cops the city has to have. And there is no mandated law that says we have to have X number of cops. I mean, yeah, if you're the commissioner of a police department, you want more cops. I mean, I'm the executive producer of CityCast Philly, and I want more producers. But it doesn't. There's no mandate that we have a certain number, and cops are very expensive. This is an investment that the city makes for decades because they get salaries, they get benefits, they get pensions after they retire. So I don't know if we should just kind of accept this idea that we're short 1,200 cops. And so I looked into this a little bit. And according to NBC Philadelphia, the police department is currently at its lowest staffing point since 1985. But if we continue at this pace, we'll have the lowest murder rate that we've had since the mid-'60s. Whatever they're doing with the resources they have appears to be having a positive effect on the crime rate. So then my question is there any correlation between having more officers and lowering crime? And I think the police commissioner and the police department needs to justify why they need more officers. And the trend lines are in the right direction when it comes to crime. And I don't know if we necessarily need all these more officers. The questions that can be asked, is the police department deploying existing staff the best way? Are there police functions that can be done cheaper by civilians? So more officers can be on the street responding to crimes. That's another way of, redeploying your force, right? And here's the stats. The department has 3.2 officers per 1,000 residents, approximately. According to the Bureau of Justice, the federal government, police departments in cities with 1 million or more residents, which we are, had an average ratio of 3 officers per 1,000 residents. So we're right in line with the national average of officers and maybe even a little higher. So that's something that the council should keep in mind as they hear these requests from the police department.
Yeah, and like I said, this was a 3-hour-long public hearing. Council members, district council members, at-large council members, they were asking about so many different topics when it comes to law enforcement here in the city, like raising wages for 911 operators, adding supervisor positions, other interventions and prevention measures among young people. They talked about city curfews and enforcement. Councilmember Cindy Bass, who we recently spoke with, talked about the nuisance businesses. There was conversations about drone technology and body cameras and access to city cameras, all sorts of things. But one thing that stood out to me came from Council President Kenyatta Johnson. He asked the commissioner and the other law enforcement officials about what are they doing in terms of supporting families of homicide victims who sometimes are just not getting updates on the cases. And Bethel replied, listen, we hear you. There's efforts in more hiring so that we can meet the needs of those families. And then Johnson praised the police for what you referred to, Matt, as the downward trends when it comes to crime in the city. By most measures, crime has recently decreased in the city. Here's what Johnson said.
So I'm going to give y'all applause because it's easy they'll always criticize and say what's not happening, right, and do the whole, but I'm coming from lived experience, so I can't speak to a lot of privileged folks that get in this space and say their perspective, but when you live in the lived experience and you come from an area that deals with poverty and you grow up in the neighborhood and you see gun violence and you grow up in the neighborhood when you see half your friends being murdered in the streets and you actually see the dead bodies as a young person, right? But now as a dad raising my two children in the very same neighborhood that I live in, and I see that the crime has been cleaning up and I see homicides and shootings are down, I just think it's something that we need to acknowledge and be straight up about. But it's not a political issue. We're talking about people whose lives are being taken on a day-to-day basis. And so
some of these issues, they hit all of us in some way. And if you want to hear or watch the full hearing, you can check out the City Council's YouTube page. We've got more news after the break.
SpringFest deals are still in full swing at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 bags of Stay Green Premium Color 2 cubic foot mulch for only $10. And get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, save up to $300 when you buy 2 or more select GE kitchen appliances of $396 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/16, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
The news also was filled this week with ways that the Trump administration's policies are impacting lives in Philadelphia.
Oh, in so many ways, Trenae. It is. I made a list.
Oh.
So start with the Carnaval de Puebla. This is a festival every year down on Washington Avenue, celebrates the Mexican population from the state of Puebla, which is where most Mexicans in Philly are from. And it was canceled this year, and in large part because organizers said attendees were scared to attend in case ICE was there. Right. And they're really worried about getting picked up. Undocumented immigrants who would be attending this festival, really worried about ICE doing some sort of sting there. So,
and that festival was scheduled for April 27th.
Yep. So the fear is real among the undocumented and just the immigrant population in general in Philly. Meanwhile, layoffs. As many as 3,600 IRS workers in Philly are in line to lose their jobs because of federal cuts. In addition, WHYY reported that hundreds of workers in the city health department might lose their jobs after the city suddenly lost 3 federal grants worth between $30 and $50 million. Then there's projects that were cut by congressional Republicans in the federal budget that Trump signed. The Inquirer reported that Philly lost $2 million to improve the structures at the Market Street subway entrance. We lost $1.2 million to replace lead and steel service lines in Kensington to improve the drinking water there, make sure people don't get sick. We lost $1.2 million for a new facility providing behavioral health support in Germantown. 3 schools lost money for playground improvements. Temple lost almost $5 million for a variety of projects. And Chalkbeat Philadelphia reported this week that Philly schools could lose a tenth of its budget because it has yet to agree to Trump's demand that they pledge to eliminate DEI efforts in the schools. And finally, State Rep Liz Fiedler said this week on X that all of the federal workers who run a program called LIHEAP, this helps low-income families pay their utility bills, all of those federal workers were fired. So unsure what that means going forward for those families who are given assistance with air conditioning and heat in their homes. Oh, and one last thing.
I was about to say, I'm burnt out.
I know.
Like, what?
Meanwhile, coffee prices are going to go up. Axios reported that Reanimator Coffee, one of our best coffee shops in the city, is going to have to increase a single cup up to 50 cents. And a bag of their cheapest blend, it's going to go up as much as $4. And that's because they import not just the coffee beans, but also cups and packaging from China and Mexico. So this is going to affect every single one of us, these tariffs, if they continue as they're planned in so many ways. And that's in addition to all of the other disruption in the federal government that's rolling down into Philly.
That's also going to impact our merch.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
one guy who's selling merch, he's saying like he's relying, he gets the stuff from like countries overseas, and it could impact if we're going to get merch to support our favorite teams.
Or how much the merch is going to be.
Or how much the merch is going to be, yes. So if you don't already have an Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, and Sixers jacket, jersey, T-shirt, you might have to make it yourself.
Cutting out.
It's bad. Okay.
Cutting out GOPHILS from a magazine and pasting it on your T-shirt.
All right, Matt. We'll be back after this break.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park. Get ready to explore the all-new Universal Epic Universe, featuring the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Dark Universe. Epic Universe opens May 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. Our universe will never be the same. Tickets and packages on sale now at universalorlando.com.
Another story that came across our desk this week was about the expensive fines people will have to pay if they get caught doing illegal dumping. Billy Penn reported that there were 48 civil lawsuits filed against people who were accused of illegally dumping last year. Okay, you guys have to listen to this. One guy was found dumping debris 3 days straight on 9th and Ontario streets. He was sued and fined $33,000, and he's got to pay like cleanup fees. Another example, 2 people were arrested and caught for dumping a large sectional couch on West Glenwood Avenue up in North Philly, and they were basically accused of violating the anti-dumping laws. They have to pay $22,000 for dumping a couch.
Yo, put that shit on. Buy nothing, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
like, what? It's so much cheaper just to do it the legal way.
That is wild.
It's nuts.
It hasn't really been cracked down on traditionally in the city, so people feel like they can get away with anything.
Right. Now, I'm like totally with the city on this one. No one deserves to see piles of trash on their blocks.
Totally.
But these fines are, it's like, damn.
Well, I mean, they're trying to do whatever they can to stop these people.
Yeah.
And I mean, last week, hundreds of volunteers had to roll thousands and thousands of tires out of Tacony Creek because some company was dumping tires there over and over and over again. They evaded the cameras. They changed the lock on some gate and put their own lock on there so they could like get in and out quick. So volunteers came out. I mean, thank you, volunteers. Whoever was out there in the cold and the rainy conditions last weekend, rolling these tires out, they basically had to make a human chain out of the embankments and pull all these tires out. And then there were sanitation trucks lined up and they were throwing them in there. So you could not do it without manpower. Really incredible. So yeah, the dumping is out of hand. It causes so many problems, and who knows? I mean, $22,000 because you're dumping your sectional in this empty lot is maybe that deters people.
And I also hate that like thought where it's just like, oh, it's just North Philly, just dump it.
Yeah.
I hate that. That
sure.
pisses me off.
No doubt, especially if they're coming from out of the city, from the suburbs,
God,
right?
I hate that. Matt, did you get your real ID yet?
I mean, I think I have it.
You think you have it?
How do I know if it's the real ID? I mean, my license is not expired.
Pennsylvania has a star, but I don't have the star.
What star? Do I have the star?
No, you don't have the star, so you don't have the real ID.
Are you sure?
You don't have the real ID. Did you pay for it?
I mean, I got it. Yeah, I would have done it when I got it renewed.
I know. I got mine renewed in 2024.
Not for real ID purposes.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have it. Mine says that too. Not for real ID purposes. You don't have it. So you better get it. Me and you. We have to stay in the line and go get it. Listen, the deadline is May 7th. Only 26% of Pennsylvanians actually have this designation. So the rest of us, we need to get it.
I mean, May 7th is the deadline here. You cannot fly on a commercial flight without this.
We have less than a month.
The airport's going to be a shit show that
And
day.
did
How
you
many
hear what
people
I
are going to
said?
be showing up, showing their IDs, and then they're going to be like, you can't fly?
Our producer, Abby, says that a pro tip is that you can bring your passport instead of your real ID. Well, Abby, I'm still screwed because I have to get the passport renewed.
Oh, my God.
And it's not just for flying. This is for if you enter a federal building, courthouses, military bases. Yeah.
Wow. But how do I get it? I got to go in there?
So there's 3 different options. You can apply online. You can go to a PennDOT driver license center. That's going to take you 15 business days to get it through. Or the third option is to go to a Real ID center. The one in Philadelphia County is located at 2904 South 70th Street. You can read more about this from Axios Philadelphia.
The result, by the way, has been all of the driver's license centers are been jammed. My parents, as you know, just moved to Philly and they've been trying to get their car registered. And every time they go to PennDOT, it's just a line out the door because everybody's trying to get this real ID. But people are definitely going to be trying to board a flight on May 7th and they're going to be totally screwed. People are going to be stranded places.
Good luck.
Wow.
All right. Well, maybe your weekend plans consist of getting a real ID or what else you doing?
I'm going to check out the last Sixers game. You know, the Sixers have the 5th worst record in the league as of this recording. And they're actually trying, if you haven't been following along, they're trying to lose. They're trying to tank. At least the organization is, maybe not the players.
And that is a draft strategy.
That's right. The worse their record is, the higher chance they have of getting a first pick. So right now, they have a 10.5% chance of getting the first pick in the draft. This is according to the Inquirer. And that would be huge. That would mean we get Cooper Flagg from Duke, who's the best player in college basketball, and he could potentially have an immediate impact next year. So we're watching the Sixers totally collapse. Embiid, of course, has been out for months. Maxey hasn't played in a really long time. It's been a succession of no-name players on the court. And, hoping they continue to lose so we can maybe have a better chance at this first pick. So I'm going to check that out, rooting against the Sixers.
Oh.
Other than that, it's Passover this weekend, so we got a big Seder at my house, so look forward to that. And if people are looking for things to do, there's a couple of things I want to flag. First of all, Bach Bar is back open, the amazing rooftop bar at the top of the Bach building. So that's back open this weekend. It's a sure sign of spring. Walnut Street over by Rittenhouse on Sunday, they've got they're closing the street up. They've been doing these car-free streets.
Open streets.
Yep. So that's happening on Sunday. And the other thing happening this weekend is kind of cool. The Major League Table Tennis Championships are in the city.
I saw the commercial for
Oh,
that.
you did?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Looks kind of cool.
It's
and you can buy
intense.
tickets. I know, right? It's really amazing how they do these things and the way they serve. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's in West Philly, and you can buy tickets at mltt.com.
Also, if you are in the kind of Brewery Town, Strawberry Mansion neighborhood, one of my favorite places to get water ice and ice cream is at King's on 33rd Street. They are giving away free medium water ice and a pretzel on Saturday, April 12th 3 to 5 p.m. I said free. The lines are going to be crazy. They're partnering with KCS Plumbing, which is a local plumbing business in the city. And then on Sunday, I'm maybe thinking about taking a yoga class with Hood Healers on Ridge Avenue.
What's Hood Healers?
They offer yoga, but they're offering this 90s yoga class. So I don't know, like, is it going to be like R&B? Is it going to be like traditional, like quiet, or we're going to do yoga with music? I'm not sure.
What do you want to listen to while you're doing Downward Dog?
I'm not sure.
Maybe Snoop Dogg.
Because
you're doing Downward Dog to Nothing But a G thing?
See, I don't know how like staying calm and like music, how that works, but maybe they'll teach us.
No Scrubs?
Is that 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, I'm getting old. Anyway, Matt, thanks for joining me on this week's Friday News Roundup.
Thanks, Trenae. Enjoy your yoga.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producer is Abby Fritz. Our Hey Philly newsletter editors are Siani Colon. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed this week of episodes, drop a link in the group chat, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Philly. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.
When do I need? I'm flying on May 2nd. Oh, May 7th.
It starts May 7th. But when do you come back? Because it's for any domestic flight.
So I'm stuck in Seattle
Ooh.
forever.
See ya.